60 days. That is exactly how long it's been since official notice was given that the war with Iran had begun. A countdown started in the background right then, a relentless ticking that has now reached its absolute breaking point. The president must now either pull his forces back or seek the constitutional power to fight on. Welcome to this high-stakes explainer. Because as of today, the clock just hit 0, and the world is holding its breath. Okay, let's dive into this. To really grasp the gravity of this exact moment, we have to look at the legal trigger that was just pulled. We're talking about the War Powers legislation. This is a law dating back to the Vietnam War era, and it was designed specifically to prevent endless, undeclared wars. The rule is actually pretty simple. Once a president gives official notice that hostilities have begun, they have exactly 60 days. After that, they either need explicit congressional authorization to keep going, or they are legally obligated to withdraw U.S. forces. And right now, all the indicators point to the conflict resuming, not winding down. But there's a massive legal roadblock sitting right in the middle of the Oval Office. It's a bitter dispute over whether this ticking clock has actually stopped. See, we currently have this fragile 3-week ceasefire in place. The White House's interpretation is that this ceasefire effectively hits the pause button on that 60-day deadline, but they are getting fierce pushback. The opposing view from legal and constitutional experts argues that the statute simply does not support pausing. In their reading, the 60 days run consecutively, meaning the legal deadline expires immediately. So this isn't just some minor technicality, right? It's a high-stakes constitutional and statutory crisis for the administration. Do they have the legal authority to strike tomorrow, or don't they? And while the lawyers fight this out in Washington, the military is moving at a staggering pace. Section 1. Preparing the battlefield. The scale of what's being prepped on the ground right now is absolutely breathtaking. Just look at this number, $25 billion. The Pentagon says this is a conservative estimate of what this war has cost the U.S. so far. Let that sink in for a second. A conservative estimate. This massive financial drain is making politicians, particularly Democrats in Congress, increasingly twitchy about where this conflict goes next and, frankly, who's going to pay for it if the fighting resumes. But the money is literally only half the story here. Over 6,000 tons of munitions have flooded into Israel in just a matter of days. The calls for a return to war inside Israel are getting much louder, and the physical preparations are undeniably underway. It's like looking at pieces moving on a massive global chessboard. The U.S. already has 2 entire carrier strike groups positioned in the region, with dozens of fuel tankers parked at airports in Tel Aviv and Eilat. We're seeing U.S. Air Force Stratotankers positioned on the tarmac, totally ready to refuel bombers and fighter jets. But the most alarming detail? CENTCOM has just requested the deployment of hypersonic missiles. These are weapons that have never before been used in active combat, and they're being moved into position as we speak. The military is gearing up for a fight of unprecedented technological scale. Section 2. A house divided. Now, what's really interesting about this whole situation is the terrifying truth behind closed doors. Inside the White House, the government is at war with itself. We are looking at a profound divide. On one side, you have voices like Vice President J.D. Vance, who are extremely reluctant to continue. His camp fears that Iran's thousands of missiles and drones could target critical energy infrastructure, causing a massive oil price and economic spiral. But on the exact opposite side, advisors like Senator Lindsey Graham and retired General Jack Keane are urging a resumption of strikes. They argue that just 2 more weeks of concerted strikes will bring the regime to its knees at the bargaining table. 2 completely different worldviews, both fighting for the president's approval. And while the advisors argue, the Pentagon is already drawing up plans for a short, sharp campaign to break the enemy's will. These military options are sitting on the president's desk right now, presented by CENTCOM. Step 1 is a campaign targeting energy and government infrastructure. Step 2 escalates wildly, sending special operations forces deep into Iran to physically target enriched uranium. Step 3 involves actual ground forces attempting to seize control of the Strait of Hormuz. And Step 4, which the president reportedly leans toward, is extending the naval blockade. Though aides warn this could take weeks or even months to yield any real results. Every single option here carries massive world-altering risks. Section 3. The view from the ground. Because we can't just look at Washington's plans, right? The enemy hasn't exactly been waiting around. Iran has been incredibly busy during this 3-week ceasefire. The hardline regime currently in power is using this pause to really dig in. They are actively digging out their missile silos, rearming their forces, and relocating their military assets to survive whatever is coming. They are preparing for the storm. And honestly, that storm feels imminent. This ceasefire is incredibly shaky. Iran has explicitly signaled a major response if strikes resume. Meanwhile, Israel and Hezbollah are continuing their cross-border attacks despite the supposed pause. Lebanon's health ministry reported at least 15 people killed in southern Israeli airstrikes just recently. And Israel's defense minister has publicly warned that they may soon be required to act against existential threats. The reality on the ground is incredibly fragile, and it's clear Israel's defense leadership feels the job just isn't completed yet.
Section 4. The ultimate decision.
So the crucial point is, all those weapons, all the intense legal battles, the political pressure, it all funnels down to one unavoidable moment. As our source material points out, ultimately the final decision is for the U.S. president. It is not in the hands of the Israeli prime minister. Despite all the regional chaos, this choice rests on exactly one desk, and the consequences are going to reshape the future of the Middle East forever. The president is his own man, and nobody can truly double-guess which way he's going to turn as the 60-day deadline crashes down around him.
Withdraw or fight on. We are literally standing on the edge of a conflict that could change everything. Follow for updates on this escalating crisis.